types of conversations, and they can be given the type of counseling and support that helps to modify behavior. Oftentimes, I think you mentioned this with respect to the Rihanna Chris Brown scenario, men's behaviors are a reflection of some of what they experienced in their childhood, and that was never reconciled. And so I think, the more that we invest in some sort of peer management program, whether it's, again, through religious institutions or social organizations, we may be able to turn that corner. Men may be able to share more of their emotional challenges with their peers and come up with solutions that don't call for violent action.
What's been the response of men in your constituency to the Violence Against Women Act as a piece of legislation?
Well, there hasn't been a whole lot of discussion, which leads me to believe that men are much more supportive overall than most people would believe. That it's a small minority that would want to exploit this opportunity not to pass it, but most men want to see women protected and want to be part of making sure that that happens.
I was hoping to get a 10-minute wrap-up, and they just gave me a 5-minute wrap-up.
Oh, my goodness.
And I really want to talk about the Paycheck Fairness Act.
Yes.
Because so many women are concerned about this. What exactly is this act?
Well, what the Paycheck Fairness Act does is it really looks at the fact that women have been underpaid compared to their male counterparts in varying professions. And what it does is it sends a signal to private industry that that is unacceptable. There would be sanctions involved. Department of Labor at the federal level would be engaged to make sure that this discriminatory practice is not furthered. It gives women the ability to actually bring suit against their employer for employment discrimination. And I think that that's a very important tool because for white women, they're being paid around 70 cents to the dollar to their male counterparts, and for black women, it's even less. It's something like 63 cents. And this is the 21st century. I just can't believe that we're dealing with this issue. One would have believed that would have been dealt with years ago, but in private industry, unfortunately, that is not the case.
That's correct. I was reading a newspaper today that quoted a lady who was a vice president of New York Women's Agenda, who said that her experiences with pay inequity informed her women's right work today, and that this is something we shouldn't be talking about anymore. We should be done with it. What are your thoughts about this coming from a woman?
Well, we shouldn't be talking about it anymore because men and women should be paid for the same thing for the same work. And I'm assuming that's where she was coming from here.
I didn't think so, but.
Well, I hope so.
Yes.
Because, one would not believe that it's such an advanced civil society, that level of blatant discrimination still exists. And, the gender inequity has to be dispensed with. We need to make sure that everyone's talents are valued the same in our society from this generation forward.
One concerned writer asked me to ask, will the Paycheck Fairness Act primarily benefit women who work in the corporate and service arena?
I think it will affect any woman who is being underpaid, irregardless and irrespective of where that employment takes place.
I would think so as well. So in relation to what you were saying earlier, obviously employers will no longer be able to hide behind this, or they'll no longer be able to hide behind their unfair pay practices under the guise of confidentiality.
Right. Exactly. I am assuming that we will be able to marshal the attorney generals of the state level, at the federal level, as well as Department of Labor, state level and federal level, to come up with rules and protocol for implementation of the law, and that there will be a call for transparency around payment schedules and the like. So I'm excited about it. I'm hoping that we'll pass this soon, so that we can get on with the business of this not being an issue.
Do you anticipate a backlash from large corporations?
Listen, I don't see how that can be the case. Talent is talent, and they need the talent.
Even if the talent is female?
That's right.
And most corporations are, well...
It's not that these women aren't being hired. It's that they're being underpaid.
Yes, yes, indeed. One person said to me, most of these corporations are headed by men.
That's right.
And
And a lot of it also had to do with negotiation skills. Women aren't told what their male counterparts are being paid. You come in with a lower expectation around compensation to begin with, just by virtue of not having that negotiation skill or ability, or being advised as to how to go about negotiating. I think all of that will become made much more transparent once paycheck fairness is passed.
Okay, Congresswoman Clarke, I want to thank you for coming on Brooklyn 45. I wanted to talk about gun control. We don't have the time. We're out of time. I'm going to have to invite you back another time when you have recess.
That's right.
And you're down here in Brooklyn. Thank you so much for coming to Brooklyn 45.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
And I'm sure our viewers are pleased to be able to listen to you and have so many of their questions answered. This is Brooklyn 45. I'm Sam Tate.